General Spalding, has the United States intelligence community accurately identified the threat that the CCP presents?
No, and I believe that's a direct result of the influence within Washington, D.C., particularly on think tanks.
In what ways has the intelligence community failed to address the CCP threat?
When I started working with the Defense Intelligence Agency, they were primarily focused on the military threat coming from China. They weren't focused on the economic threat, the financial threat, the academic threat, the political threat that we're talking about here.
So, for instance, in just a few years ago, before Joe Biden took office, there were about less than 500 Chinese nationals that were apprehended on the southern border. And then the last year we have data for, last fiscal year, it was nearing 50,000. You find that alarming?
Terrifying.
Do you think every one of those folks is just looking for a better life, or are there some sleeper agents looking to do us harm if we ever got into a hot war with China?
I think both of those situations exist, but I also think that the Chinese Communist Party is opportunistic, and it has conditioned the Chinese citizens to believe that they must do what the Chinese Communist Party asks. So every Chinese citizen that comes into the country, by law, is a Chinese agent of the Chinese Communist Party.
And even if 99% of them are just looking for a better life, it's terrifying to know that there are 500 new potential threats in this country in an open society.
Well, Li Yuan, who's a journalist for the New York Times, talks about the deprogramming she herself had to go through when she came to the United States and started recognizing the signs of having been programmed. And I think if you're going to have those types of people come into the country, then they have to go through some similar deprogramming process, because if you live in China, like I have, you see that the entire population has been programmed through propaganda over the last decade, certainly since Tiananmen Square.